So that meant me not going back to school my senior year. That meant my mom and dad closed their business. Like completely how we survived. They just completely closed it down. And it's hard. But when you become an artist, you become an artist. That's it. Your life is not the same. You will not have normal life. You will not. No matter how much you think you will, your life changes.
So you got to know the person.
But what that is, and it's one word only, it's the integrity of what you're creating. Always. Because everyone will promise you all these things. They'll DM you. Oh, did this or this gig or this show or blah, blah. And he would get real excited. I'm like, it's okay to be excited, but you need to send them to me. And that's when I know if they're legit or not. And I do my homework. I talk to them. Once they talk to me, it kind of changes. Because I start asking the questions. I want to sing your praises. I want to lift your name on high. Sing to the Lord, hallelujah, all my life. Let me see. OMG. Look at that. She knows I love me my neon green.
Yeah.
Dang.
Those are dope.
Hey, welcome to Too Hard, Too Fast podcast. In this episode, we have two guests. This is the first time since I moved into in-person that I've had three guests. Hey, it was a surprise. It was a good surprise.
We're innovators.
Yes.
So in today's episode, we have obviously the icon, Tejano icon, Shelly Lares.
Thank you for having me.
And the master of shoe customizations. DGU Customs. She made the shoes, the Too Hard, Too Fast shoes that I...
You made the ones he's not wearing.
They're in the truck.
Bring them out.
I'm just
Bring 'em
giving
out
you a
right
hard
now.
time.
I am not wearing them, but they are super nice, and I try not to wear them except for special occasions. And this was going to be a special occasion if they were going to be in the frame.
Right.
See, I can't even lift my foot up that high.
Gonna get a cramp.
But this was a special surprise, and it looks like you have a special surprise for me.
Not this time. Not this time. Unless you're a 4.5.
Ooh, maybe Shelly. Shelly doesn't want her shoe size out there.
Hey, I don't care. Shoot, I give like my age. I don't care. I'll tell everybody.
Well, this was a special surprise, but we'll leave it closer to the end to reveal. Because now that you're here, I want you here.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Be like.
Let's share space.
Okay,
This is
cool.
pretty cool.
All right.
But Shelly, you have a new song out.
I'm free, free to dance and free to sing.
And we're going to talk about that. Last time we talked, we were on Zoom.
Oh yeah.
And that was the first time we were on my podcast. So this is your second time out. Oh, second and a half, because you kind of made an appearance with Dez.
Yes, El Gallo Dez.
So
I was asleep in the other room when they were shooting the last time.
Well, we thought she was asleep, and we were kind of like talking mess a little bit. You can hear her in the back, like chime in a little bit.
Yeah.
Always listening.
Yes, I'm always listening.
But we'll get into that, and then we'll get into the surprise. But before all that, let's sit back, buckle up. Let's go Too Hard, Too Fast.
What's up, y'all? LMD, Shelly Lares.
What's up, guys? Marissa from DGU Customs.
And we're
Going too hard, too fast.
That's perfect. Okay, so to start off, random question, because we kind of spoke about it off air a little bit, you guys, and I did notice it a lot, and I don't know why I've never noticed, but you seem to be a big fan of Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah, I'm a Wonder Woman fanatic.
Ooh.
Always have been since I was a little girl. I used to watch Linda Carter, the series, all the time. I would like run in the backyard singing the theme song, Wonder Woman, all that stuff. Like, I've just always been fascinated by the character and her strength, really. And of course her beauty And Linda Carter, of course, is Latina too. So
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's what I really loved about it. I'm an avid Wonder Woman collector, so I have a lot of things I've collected over the years. Stuff fans have also given me. If my guitar doesn't tell you enough, I mean, they call me Wonder Shell. So yeah, I have my guitar with Wonder Woman on it, specifically made for me. And then, of course, the back is the most important people to me: my family, my father, and my mom, and practically everybody. So
That's awesome.
yeah, I have a lot of stuff that I have a very first comic book that was ever made too. So yeah, it just kind of became my thing.
When did you first gravitate towards Wonder Woman?
I was probably, I don't know, maybe 7 years old, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So more than
Was it
my
like
whole
an
life.
instant thing, or like you kind of had to grow into
No,
it?
it was an instant thing. Yeah, I just thought it was really awesome that she had a lasso and she could spin and change clothes in mid turn.
And had the
Mid
invisible
spin.
airplane.
Yeah, mid spin. And then when the movie came out, I was like so excited. I love Gal Gadot. She's amazing. I thought they picked the perfect Wonder Woman to portray. I was worried when I heard a movie was coming out. I was like, man, they're not going to top Linda Carter and Linda Carter's beauty. There's no way. And they matched it, And then seeing Linda Carter make a little cameo in the movie was like,
Yeah, no
it's pretty
spoilers.
awesome. Hey, yeah, no,
No,
it was
just
pretty
kidding.
awesome. But now she's not going to be doing the movies anymore. So,
Who?
yeah, Gal Gadot.
Really?
So, yeah, I know. I was pretty bummed about that.
Does she not want to, or
I don't know. I'm sure it's all legal stuff.
Oh,
But
everybody's
yeah,
moving on? They
Yeah,
don't want
I
to get
guess
tied
so.
down to one thing.
I guess not. But,
But,
yeah, I'm still a Wonder Woman fanatic, no
Yeah.
doubt.
I know I gravitated towards Superman when I first, I guess, was looking at superheroes, but just because it was like, oh, the macho guy, strongest
Yeah,
person
yeah,
in the world,
yeah.
But then I kind of liked Batman for the longest time, and I just dove into those kind of comic books and
Like, I was never a
movies.
Supergirl fan.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was never, it's like, she's not real. She's not the real thing. Wonder Woman is.
Yeah, no, Wonder Woman is. Yeah,
Yeah,
If I'm going female superheroes, Wonder Woman is the main.
I'd have to say
me.
Catwoman maybe second.
Oh, but she's like kind of anti-heroish.
Yeah, I know, but she's still nonetheless, part of the whole. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'd have to say, but nobody compares to Wonder Woman.
But now my favorite is like Joker.
Oh, okay.
So it's weird. Do you have a favorite?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Why?
Spider-Man's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Man's cool. I like Spider-Man
I
too.
love Spider-Man.
What's cool about Spider-Man?
I remember I just have like a good memory about it. Well, it was kind of like not good and then it became good. I was sick when I was little and I was like in the process of recovering and my sister bought me like it was a Spider-Man live action show at the Majestic. And so I remember like just seeing everything decorated with like Spider-Man stuff to the point where I was like thinking like, oh, I could like crawl. I started crawling on the floor and everything. I'm getting better. I'm like, oh man, like I got all these powers now. I feel good. So I think because of that, like I just grew very like attached to Spider-Man because that was just such a good memory for me. Like being sick for like 2 weeks, not being able to go to school, and then like going to see Spider-Man and like everything that would just happen where they're like jumping off the walls and stuff. It's so cool.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I think to me, Spider-Man has always been like still like no matter how cool he got after he got bit, he was still like a nerd.
Yeah.
But back then in high school, I was like trying not to be a nerd. Now I'm like, I was always a nerd. I was never cool. I was never cool in high school or anything like that. So
But you blossom later. So yeah,
I
it's
just
okay.
became a bigger nerd.
That's what I mean. You blossom into a bigger nerd.
That's cool. It's interesting to figure out like people's, because there's always something underlying our choices towards comics or comic book heroes or superheroes, whoever we find as our heroes. And somebody once made a point like that, I don't remember who it was or what I was listening to, but they were trying to make the point that we've lost our own personal heroes. Because when you used to ask kids who was your hero, it's like, oh, my mom, my dad.
Right.
And then for some reason, we just started gravitating towards the superheroes. And I don't know why I was thinking about that right now, but I'm sure, if I ask you the way I've seen you interact with your mom at events.
Oh yeah,
Like, you can
my
definitely
mom's
tell.
definitely my hero. My parents, period. My dad was very strong, old school Mexicano father, very structured. Worth ethic was insane. Dad never shied away from anything ever. Like if he didn't know it, he'd figure it out. He was a jack of all trades too. Can do just about anything from plumbing to electricity, and never studied it. I mean, mechanic, you name it. And then mom, of course, she's very feisty. I think I say she's the OG LMD because, yeah, I got my feistiness and my tenacity from my mom, no doubt. So yeah, of course, my parents will always be my main heroes. Big, huge influence. I'm a reflection of my parents, so I take it very seriously in how I represent the name and just everything about my business too. Everything has to be in a positive light.
Yeah.
Always.
You started very young when you were in music, correct?
Yeah, I started professionally at age 10. Recorded my first record at 10 years old. So yeah, I got into the music industry as a child. So just to be able to have the discipline to be a kid and be in the music industry, it really wasn't difficult. I didn't think, because I guess I love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
And when you love something so much, it's not work for you, But yeah, I was very, very young, and Tejano, when Tejano wasn't cool yet amongst the young generation.
Yeah.
That was just music for people older, and probably, I don't even really mean old. I mean, probably for me in their 20s and 30s.
Yeah,
But,
but that was
when you're
old for
10,
us
it's like
back
old to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't really know anyone my age that was listening to Tejano music at that time. Other than Selena, we were the only two.
Yeah.
Really.
What did your parents think about you doing, or their mindset from back then to seeing you do it at a young age to now, now that you're semi-retired?
Yeah.
I think the
No,
last
I'm
time you were on with,
I'm fully retired.
Well,
yeah.
but you're just as busy.
Oh yeah.
So,
I'm fully retired. You don't see me touring every weekend.
right.
I retired from where I said I was going to retire, which is from being on the road. But I didn't say I wasn't going to continue working and doing what I love.
Yeah.
I'm
that's
not
what
dead.
I meant, like in the no, that's what I meant, like
Yeah.
what semi-retired, like you're still
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
But what is, like, or at least the shift in mindset?
Oh God, I think it happened pretty early on. Once I decided to break away from the local band that I was with, Hatamales. They were an orquesta, so they were pretty much content and okay with just being in the San Antonio area, there's nothing wrong with that if that's your goal. But mine was to create my own music, produce my own music, have my own band, and and tour. That's what I wanted to do, and I knew this at 13 years old, that I was ready to form my own band. So once I turned 14, that's when we formed my own band. Dad started kind of managing the band, and mom would do everything else along with what came with the business. And then when I signed my first record contract at 17, that's when my then executive producer said, Shelly's gonna be successful, she has to go full time. So that meant me not going back to school my senior year. That meant my mom and dad closed their business. Like, completely, how we survived. They just completely closed it down, and we went into the music industry full time. So I'd say when I was 17, 1989, I think, is when we really shifted that, okay, this is the family business now.
Oh, wow.
And we're going into a business we know nothing about. Nothing at all. And the amount of faith and belief that my parents had in my talent and my drive and my passion, if closing their business doesn't tell you that, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know we were going to be successful, but we always believe in God and how God opens these doors, and God leads the way. We did everything giving all of the honor and glory to God, and still do to this day. You just let things happen organically. Sometimes you get resistance, but it's really in your perseverance and again your tenacity and your consistency that allows you to be successful, you know. So I mean, that was a really big shift in mindset because again, we got pretty calloused pretty early on in the industry also because you have to be in a lot of ways. You can't be too trusting for a lot of things. You have to be very careful. But one gift that God gives us is our intuition and your gut. And you got to learn to listen to those things with people. And I know we did. Dad was very good at that. He wasn't judgy of a person's character, but he was very cautious.
Yeah.
And if he didn't get a good vibe, he wasn't going to want that around his daughter.
Just kind of question everything.
Yeah, he just went off of that. And, you know, I think I got that gene from my dad because now I'm that way. You know, if I feel like something is not for me, it's not for me. I don't force it to happen.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I know my mom, and I grew up hating it because I didn't understand it. But my mom was very untrusting about people. Yeah. Always respected everybody, you know, treated everybody with respect, but was very untrusting. And I hated it because I was very trusting. Yeah. And I guess I didn't learn it till I got burned enough times.
I mean, it's a beautiful quality to have. Don't get me wrong. It really is a beautiful quality to have. But, you know, not everyone has good intentions, you know, when they're around you. And in the music industry, as you gain popularity, as you gain notoriety, you have to tread very lightly with who wants to be around you and why. You know, I worked very hard for my brand. I worked very hard for my name. And if anything else, you know, it's really not about the materialistic things that I've worked for, like the studio we're sitting in right now, like my record label. It's about my name and what I've worked for and the recognition that the name gets after 40 years of doing this, you know. So that's why I take a lot of pride, but I'm also very careful with what I do and who I do business with.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Now
it's not my first rodeo. Like I tell people.
Dang. And I was just about to buy a hat that says, "This is actually my first rodeo."
Yeah.
That would have been perfect for this. I'm going to put you on the hot seat because Mom is here. Okay. But you are pretty early on into your business, and but it's in a upward trajectory.
Oh yeah, like, for sure.
From our episode to now, I've seen you. Well, you know, you've had your struggles as well with different things. We don't have to get into that, but you have been creating, and your talent has just gotten even better. How does it feel now towards, you know, you're applying it as much as you can and you're trying to keep this business going?
Well, it feels wonderful to be where I'm at today, for sure. Like I told you, honestly, a year ago, because I feel like it was a year ago that we recorded. Almost. Or July. It was going to, yeah. Okay.
I mean, it was still just as hot.
Almost a year, yeah. I just feel very, like, grateful and appreciative that I do put my trust in God. I do put my trust in God, and whatever, like, he allows me to create, whatever he allows me to receive, whatever opportunity he brings to me, any of the blessings, I just feel like, I mean, overwhelmed with joy as well. But I do feel like, man, I'm not lost for words, because I just feel so much joy and so much happiness that it leaves me speechless, because I didn't expect to be here. I didn't expect to get as far as I am. You know, you pick up something and then you start to love it, and then sometimes it fades because many things come into play and life just happens. But this is just something I'm very passionate about. Yeah. Like, even with the obstacles that have just been brought up, and I've posted and I've shared with my followers the past couple of months how hard they've been for me, just to see the amount of support that I still have and the people that still reach out to me and still want me to be able to create for them is just beautiful for me. So I don't ever plan on giving up. And I mean, that's what it is. DGU stands for Don't Give Up. but yeah, I do feel overall good about everything. I do see myself within the next couple of years taking y'all with me somewhere. But yeah, I'm overall blessed. I'm overall grateful. No matter what comes into play, even like sometimes I've had people like ask me if I could do certain things. And I'm like, oof, I don't know if I could do that, but I end up doing it because I always push my limits. Yeah.
That's what it's about, you know, pushing past your comfort zone. Always pushing the envelope for yourself. You know, it should always be directed because this is your growth. This is your personal growth, not only personally but professionally, to building your brand. And you know, it's always about keep consistently moving forward, even if it's just a little bit at a time. You know, that's what my father used to say. You don't have to shoot up to the sky right away. It's like a little bit, a little bit. But every year, every month, there's progress in some way, shape, or form. You know, and it's amazing because, you know, we support small businesses, especially small businesses owned by women.
Yes.
And of course, you know, being in our community, you know, it's something that, you know, we need to definitely support each other. And I've been trying to get a hold of her since you told me about her too. And we'd never been able to meet. But again, you know, it's all in God's time. And when the opportunity presents itself, then that's when it's going to happen.
Is this the first time y'all are meeting or no?
No.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
No, it's not the first time.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it
okay.
felt like so cool because she was on another podcast.
Yeah.
It was another podcast. And I was like, man, we're barely going to make it. We'll barely get the last 20 minutes of it. But regardless, let's do it. I was exhausted that day. But I was like, here's the perfect timing. She's right down the street. I'm going to get ready and go. And it felt so cool and such an honor that she just went and grabbed her phone, like, yeah, when everything was done. And then she just, shoop, hey, how are you? I was like, wow. Just straight up just coming to approach me and, like, talk to me. Like, that was so cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
And we won't name that other podcast because no, was it
be
the
talking
one
about my boy.
with the student? Is he a student of,
No,
of
this
UTSA or is
this
he?
is with High Strung.
Oh,
High
okay.
Strung, yeah. He's
I didn't know.
amazing.
I had seen pictures, but I wasn't sure if he was the same. If he was a student from UTSA or not.
Oh
that's
yeah,
going
no,
into,
no, not yet.
not
Haven't
yet?
done I haven't had a student interview me yet.
Okay. Do they have? Because they haven't tried, or are
I-
they nervous to meet you?
No, I don't think so. A lot of them work here out of my studio.
Okay.
I do allow them to do productions here, and you know, let them get very hands on. I have a few composers that. Well, my intern Alex, she wants to do compositions for movies, and films. So, working on a couple of films right now, a couple of opportunities for films. So I invite her to the process so she can network. And now she's going to be composing some of the stuff for one of the films that I'm going to be part of. And then I have another student that's going into film that will also be on set so that he can kind of learn. Producers, you know, arrangers, they want to come in here. I let them do the stuff here. So yeah,
Nice.
there's a lot of different things they come and do to be hands on.
I know I kind of didn't. I just jumped into that question without explaining any context. So you're a professor of the music industry for UTSA here in San Antonio, University of Texas of San Antonio.
Yeah, I'm the very first artist in residence. This will be my second year. They renewed me for a second year. Right now, they want to work on building a permanent spot for me at UTSA, which I think would be really amazing. I love being on campus. I love talking to the students. I love, you know, mentoring a whole lot. It's like something that's very passionate. I'm very passionate about it. I think it's very important for us to find young people to mentor. You know, because it's gatekeeping when you don't share your knowledge with the next generation.
Yeah.
And really, what good is it going to do me with all my experiences and ways that I know I can help someone if I'm not doing that? you know. So it was such a big, huge blessing that the whole opportunity for UTSA came to be, because if I'd have followed my reasons for retiring from the road, we wouldn't be sitting in this building and I wouldn't be at UTSA.
Yeah.
There's no way. So again, you know, God presented all these blessings to me. And I just listened, and I'm like, okay, God, I see where you want me to be, see where you want me to stay. And I see what you're blessing me with for the next journey. Was I thinking to myself, what are they seeing in me? You know, sitting in a university so prestigious as UTSA, when I've never gone to school to teach, you know, but I found it very easy. It was like, I fell right into the role very easily. It wasn't anything I haven't been doing for years already with other aspiring artists. So I just think it's a lot more interesting because I get to do other stuff too, like work in ensembles. I get to work in the audio tech class, and, you know, there's other areas too that I get to.
Yeah, but you're mostly teaching them about the business versus how to play music, right? Like,
Right. I teach them about song formatting as well. They will bring a song to me. I'll listen to it here, tell them, look, the format of this is not working. This is how it should be structured a little bit more.
Yeah.
Instrumentation, this, or even the actual technicality of recording music.
Okay.
You know, they're used to being at home on their laptops with headphones. I'm like, you can't mix and master music on your headphones. You have to be in here where you have speaker references, where you understand the room, where you even understand soundproofing. Like, you know, there's a lot of different areas that they're like, oh, okay. You know, even when they go in there and they record instruments, okay, where's the placement of the mic? Like, how do you throw this instrument down, per se, drums or whatever? So there's a lot of technical stuff that I do teach as well.
I would have never thought about the headphone usage. I don't like to edit my podcasts with headphones on, because to me it doesn't sound the same.
Yeah.
Especially
well, you need to think, you know, when people are listening to you digitally, they'll be in their car, you know, and it's got to sound a certain way. It's got to be a certain standard.
Yeah, and they're like a distance from this
quality of recording. So it's the same thing, you know. What I do here is any music that I produce, it's radio ready. Like, the quality of it is ready for radio. And a lot of the students think, okay, well, I'm just composing my own music and I'm going to put it up digitally. But they forget, one, is the quality good enough to be on radio or digital? Two, some of them don't even register their songs. They're not even copywritten. They're not even registered.
Yeah.
They don't know.
They just throw it out.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, you can't just put your music out there on Apple and Spotify and not own the rights to it. I'm like, but these are things they don't really.
Yeah.
And you would think a lot of them would know, especially with this day and age with everything on the phone, you know, but they don't. They don't really know. A lot of them don't.
And I wonder if that's like how you mentioned gatekeeping earlier, and why you maybe because you are so forthcoming and letting people know, like, hey, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm out of place on this, but you're more not wanting to screw somebody over.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Where other, you know, we've heard it's all over or bigger label companies, the ones that have been around forever, that been scheming forever and owning people's music. And
I mean, the music industry has been taken advantage of for many years. It continues to be still to this day. You know, digital is the world we live in. But artists don't make money digitally, really. It's pennies. It's pennies. So yeah, definitely me as a label, as far as ShellShock, there's a lot of things that I'm doing differently than the labels that I was signed to. For one, no label is going to sit down and talk to you and have this lengthy meeting conversation as what speaks to you? Who are you as an artist? What were your inspirations? They're not going to care about that. You're a product to them. And they're going to tell you what style to do, how to do it, how to look, all of these things. They're not going to really care about your feelings on it, majority of the time. because it's a business and you are that. You're just a product. And there's a way where you can, that's another fine line of, as an artist, it doesn't mean that you have to forget who you are artistically, but you do have to understand the business side of it, that yes, you are, right? Everything that you're working for is really not for you. Okay, it's for someone else until that money is recouped. And then you start to kind of make something. That's why most artists, we make our living on the road. That's really where we make our bread and butter. For me, that's where I made my money. And the second thing after that was my branding, was my merchandise. That's where I made my money because of my brand, what I built over the years, my name. But I vouched that I didn't want to be that type of a label. So it's very important to me when I signed El Gallo Dez, who is the only exclusive artist to ShellShock. I wanted to know who he was as a man, not only artistically, but personally, because it's important to me to know who he is, because it does affect what we do here. Okay.
Yeah.
You can say you keep it separate. Yes. But emotionally, if things are not right here, over there, things are not going to be right here for him. So it's important to me to know, how is your home life? Is it okay? Do you have a support system? Those are things that most people don't care about or they don't think about.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it could throw a wrench into things once the momentum starts to go. Because I've seen it happen. Things start doing well and you're like, oh no, we have a problem. You can't leave no more. You got to be home with the family. I mean, many of my musicians that I had on the road, it was gravy till they got married, started having kids. Then it's like, you can't be on the road. I'm like, hold up, but this is how you met him. You see, and that happens a lot.
That's why a lot of bands break up too.
That's why a lot of it, yeah. And you just have to. It's hard, but when you become an artist, you become an artist. That's it. Your life is not the same. You will not have normal life. You will not. No matter how much you think you will, your life changes. And that's where your discipline comes into play. That's where your commitment to your career and to what you're doing comes into play. And only the strong survive in this industry. It's like you got to be made for it, because you won't live in it. You'll fall. You'll fall off. But I want to build a long-lasting artist with El Gallo Dez. I don't want El Gallo Dez to be a fly-by-night sensation. I want him to be an artist of substance, an artist that's always going to be taken seriously with what he does musically. I want him to be, as he gains more years under his belt, a respected artist.
Yeah.
And that takes time. 1 year doesn't give you that.
Right.
You got to earn your keep, basically. And then, of course,
And then
later
every year
on,
you have to keep
later on, helping him with his investments outside of the music industry. I want him to be successful in all ways. Not only in the music industry, but in life as a man, So those are the things that I'm doing for him, and we're still very early on in the game. He's only been signed to my label for a year. I think we've done a lot of amazing things. We've created some beautiful music, no doubt. So, but yeah, it takes a lot to do this. And I ask myself this many times, how in God's name did I do it for 4 years? It's like, I don't know,
Yeah.
but I did.
Now I'm kind of curious about how you do carry yourself amongst your artists that you're helping and amongst Dez, but I'm curious for you. The shoe business is also can be pretty
Very competitive.
Yes, competitive, and it can be a little sketchy at times, especially if you're putting all the work that goes into creating a customized shoe. How do you kind of deal with knowing who you are going to do a shoe for, or what kind of business you're You're gonna
I ask a
undertake?
deposit.
Okay.
I ask for a deposit, or bring me the shoes. I ask you to give me. It's kind of like how she was explaining. Like, you got to get to know the person, and not just like get to know the person. Like, I want to know, like, what is your vision? I'm not gonna just copy a image.
Yeah.
What's your vision? Like, what else would you want added? What colors would you want added? Can I do this? Can I do that? It's a lot of questions that I ask. And I make sure to reassure everyone that I talk to and like update them even on just like my life too. Like, hey, like this happened. Just, I think that that's more respectful in a way too, because I don't want to like, I'm a human.
Yeah.
I'm not just this robot artist, you know? So I have things that come up as well. And I mean, I just, you know, like kind of like how she said it, I have to get to like know you. And it's kind of like, it is a feeling. Like, there's some people that have asked, and then they'll ask, well, how much do you this and how much do you that? Because your work is so good. I'll give them the price, and they're like, oh no, like that's crazy. And I'm like, the shoes that you have on your feet are $1,900. What are you talking about? Oh no, that's crazy. This is just something I'm coming up with, and you're asking me to do it. I'm just gonna be honest with you and tell you, like, yeah, I would love to work for you, do something, create something for you. But if I'm just not feeling, because I have, like, people have given me a deposit, and just something in my heart, I was like, I just don't feel like I can do this. Not just because it's them. It's like also the things that are going on in my life. And I also want to give people their shoes within a good time period, because now that I am working with different people, and I am getting asked to do a bunch of customs, I've been told stories that they've waited for like 6-7 months, and it was nothing of what they asked. And
From other people.
Yeah, nothing of what they asked. And
That sounds like the producers here. It really does.
Yeah. Even
Well, they're
like,
waiting for music, and then
Oh yeah, it's the same thing.
yeah.
You know, the artist will do a deposit.
Yeah.
Sometimes they pay the whole thing, and the producer makes them wait like a year, and they don't have the song. And then when the song's given to them, they're like, well, this isn't really what I was feeling. But I think most of those producers don't really sit down and be like, what do you like? You know, but again, see,
So you got to know the
but
person.
what that is, and it's one word only. It's the integrity of what you're creating. Always. Integrity is really what you can tell a lot about a person, about their character. If they have integrity and they're doing things with good intention, you know. But yeah, you could take the money and run, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, really, you can make them wait as long as you want to make them wait.
Yeah.
But because you have integrity, and because, you know, this is something you're passionate about, not only is it your name, but you wouldn't want someone to do that to you.
Absolutely
Right?
not.
So
Yeah.
to me, that says a lot about a person. And those are the only people that I surround myself with, is people with integrity, people who value someone else's time, someone else's talent. You know, that's very important in anything you do.
Yeah, that's true, and it pretty much sums it up, because you know, you can be a shady character, and
Exactly.
I said shady, I didn't cuss. But you can be that. You can be that too.
I was like, we can cuss, yay!
Oh yeah, you can definitely cuss. Definitely cuss. I won't bleep it. But my accent sometimes. Did I say shady or shitty? I don't know. Either one. You suck.
We can't really tell.
But either one's negative, so it works out. But no, having integrity is everything. You know,
For sure.
And I think you can definitely tell how both of you have mentioned, like, getting to know someone, it takes very little time to realize when somebody's not.
Exactly.
So that makes perfect sense. So when you're working with Des, and because I see him, you know, visiting radio stations, meeting with people, filming or doing, you know, TikTok or Reels with people. I know I kind of saw it as negative for me when I used to use this word helicopter parent until I became a parent. And then I'm like, oh, like who are you surrounding yourself with? Do you find yourself being a little bit of a helicopter parent, or
There's
you
no
do
being a
allow
little
him?
bit. I am
Full
that.
on.
I'm full on label manager at this point. I don't want to stay as manager.
Yeah.
Because I'm a producer now. I'm a record label owner and producer. This is where I want to be. If I wanted to be back on the road, I would be back on the road. But I'm all he has right now, and I'm going to do everything in my power to protect him. Because I love him, first of all, and he doesn't know. He doesn't know this business. And there's always people ready to, now it took him a little bit, the beginning, because everyone will promise you all these things. They'll DM you, did this or this gig or this show or blah, blah. And he would get real excited. I'm like, it's okay to be excited, but you need to send them to me. And that's when I know if they're legit or not. And I do my homework. I talk to them. Once they talk to me, it kind of changes because I start asking the questions, and he's like, oh man, I probably would have just gone for it. And I'm like, no, but this is where I'm teaching him value. Teaching him there's a process, there's a way of doing business.
Yeah.
Okay. And DMing someone and wanting to do business through a DM is not, that's not really it for booking shows and,
That's how I book all my podcasts. What do you mean?
Yeah, but I mean,
It's different.
But we
It's
do it
different.
because we want to be here.
No,
You don't
yeah.
pay us to be here.
Yeah. No, it is different.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
Yeah,
more like
we're here
contractual
because
stuff.
we love your podcast
Thank
and
you.
we believe in what you're doing, which is why we're here.
Thank you.
But when you call and you want to book him in back in California, I'm like, okay, well, we got to talk monies here.
Yeah.
He's got to get there. He's got to get the band.
Do you allow him to make a little like that mistake just so you can learn from like?
I mean, he's made some small ones. He's made some small enough ones. I'm teaching him by taking him through the process and explaining it to him so he understands. That's how he's learning. And I mean, his overview of everything now from when he first started is not the same.
Yeah.
Like now he's like, oh, I see that. It was, little things like, it was so funny because when we did the award show here and there was some technical difficulties on his performance and he's on the stage and like no music is starting and he's like trying to be funny and trying to like entertain the crowd and I'm on the side of the stage, but I had to kind of go around the curtain to go to where the guy was running the sound. And so once I went around that curtain, the crowd could see me. And it was so funny because as soon as I made that turn, they're like, oh, they're like, oh, there goes Shelly, But when they saw me turn, they know. But again, it's just important for me to have to put the line in the sand and be like, hey, we're professional, but you see, and I'm the one drawing it. You don't cross this line. We're good here.
Yeah.
We can be great, doing business together, but you don't want to hear from me.
Yeah.
So,
And
but
I
he's
will
made
say-
small ones.
And I will say like I hope none of that came out like as in he's very. I don't want it to sound where he's very. What's the word? I'm losing the word. Naive.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
I don't think he is. He definitely does not come off that way. And I will say this as a compliment to you and to him. We'll talk every once in a while through DM. But not a lot, but it just like random stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a conversation where he goes, dude, it's been a while, we should do it again. I'm like, yeah, that'd be great, let's do it. He goes, okay, we'll talk to Shelly. I was like, okay.
Yeah, he already knows. He already knows.
So yeah,
It's taken me a little bit to train him to understand that, but he understands the concept now. And again, and it's not for any other reason to be. I am the manager right now.
No,
So,
and it makes sense.
yeah.
It's perfect sense. Obviously, there's, it's been more in social media right now with seasoned artists, without naming any of them, but to where even they are getting, either they're making mistakes or they're getting screwed.
Oh, they're getting screwed
from
over.
The
Yeah,
contracts
it's all in business, But you gotta have that in line. You gotta have it in line. I mean, it's sad to say, I can count not even on one full hand the amount of people that I really trusted as far as, okay, we'll go do the show, and I'd never done a contract with them, but that was people I'd been doing business with for 25 years. You see.
Yeah.
But but everything has to be done legally on paper. It just has to be that way because,
But even then, if I'm hearing like legally on paper contract, and they still try to change things.
Yeah, they still do. But I mean, for me, I've built a team. I'm like, okay, well, we'll just get my attorney involved.
Like
it's
no
like,
arguing,
yeah,
let's
it's
do it.
like,
That makes sense.
and that's where I let my team of my entertainment attorney take over. It's like, okay, it's you now.
Yeah.
But they know who they can do it with, and they'll try it. But you just gotta, again, it's that line in the sand that's drawn. But I mean, these are relationships and experiences and a career that I've put a lot of years in. So with El Gallo Dez, technically he didn't start from the bottom. He started on my shoulders, basically. And, he is very appreciative of, everything that I teach him and every opportunity that he's been able to flourish through because of my relationships that I've made over the years.
Yeah.
I can make those phone calls and say, hey, I'm going to bring El Gallo Dez over to the station. Okay, Shelly,
That's awesome.
But these are just relationships. It's all about that,
Yeah.
So they're important to have.
I agree. Two more things. I want to talk to you about your new song,
Okay.
and then I'm going to turn the show over to you.
Yay!
You can explain issues. Your new song, "I'm Free." Religious aspect to it, but when I was listening to it, it starts off, with those. And correct me if I say this wrong, but like churchy undertones of like almost choir-esque. And then to me, it turned into a religious Madonna song. It's like the pop hits, and like before I knew it, I'm like jamming into the car. I'm like, oh, this is still a church song, or is this still like religious song, spiritual?
Yeah. Well, I would say it's a spiritual song, not so much a religious song. It's a song that, and everyone is like, of course I'm still recording Christian music because on my end, when I was retiring, I said that my Christian album was going to be, something that I was going to do as a personal gift to God to say thank you. So that was the whole reason for me recording these songs, is to glorify Him through my music, because without God, I wouldn't have had 40 years and, 25 plus albums. That wouldn't have happened. So, the album should have been released on my final year, but I got so busy. But then again, like I'm glad I did wait, because some of the way that I was arranging some of the songs, now where I'm at right now and I have my space and I create here, I hear things differently now. So, but Awesome God was the first release. And both Awesome God and I'm Free were originally written by my cousin Tony Lares. He wrote those years ago when he was in a very dark place in his life, and he just, God just started working in his life. And so when I spoke to him and Cuz, who is someone that I also work with, who's a big part of my ShellShock team, he's a musician, producer also. I wanted both of them to be on this project with me. And so my cousin offered me songs that he had written. Awesome God, I kind of just changed up a little bit, but I'm Free was a completely different arrangement. When he sent it to me, It was not what you hear now. But I was like, I just love the lyric. I love, because I'd always wanted to write about God. Very early on, I would pray. I'd be like, God, I just want to write about you like that. And I always loved the way that my cousin was able to be very simplistic, but to the point of how God made him feel, right? And I felt like he writes from more of a biblical part of how he feels. But I'm Free kind of hit a little bit more of the personal side, you know, and a personal love song to God. So, yeah, I said, let me work on it a little bit. I told him. And when I finally finished the product, he was like, oh my gosh, like this doesn't sound anything like I thought it would. But it's a song that I sing and I'm like, I just love it. It like, I don't know what it does to my soul, but it just like, it makes me feel so happy.
Yeah,
like when I sing it, like I just feel so like, you know, because anytime I've ever sang anything spiritual, like I always cry.
Yeah.
When I go to church, praise and worship starts and I start singing along, I start crying every time. Like it just hits me differently.
Yeah.
Right. But I've gotten a lot of amazing people, you know, responding to the song and how, you know, they love hearing it, how it makes them happy, and you know, how they can relate to what it's saying.
Yeah.
But no, the next one that I'm probably going to release is a song called Freedom and the Surrender, which is also another really beautiful song that I wrote along with Rebecca Valadez. When I called Rebecca, because she writes a lot of songs with me, she's another co-writer of mine. I called her and I said, have you ever written any Christian music, spiritual music? She goes, never. I'm like, do you think you can do it? And she's like, I can try. And I was thinking to myself, I hope that she does it like a love song to God. Like I was just like praying on it. I was like, oh, you know, and man, when she wrote those lyrics, and I was like, wow. Because there's a certain part of the song where it says, you and me, he and she, they and we are worthy of love. So she was using these pronouns that we know.
Yeah.
And I was like, it just did something different to me. And I don't think she meant to do it, you know, on purpose.
Like she didn't.
Yeah, she just wrote it like that.
way.
Yeah.
Okay.
You and me, he and she, they and we
Yeah.
are worthy of love. It's like, that's like very powerful.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the next single. I was going to release it before I'm Free. But I felt like Awesome God was kind of real slow, and I wanted something more up tempo and just something more lively for praise and worship type thing. But I love it. I mean, I think I have about 6 songs now for the album, and I'm still writing some more.
Do you know
songs.
about how many songs there
I want to
might
do
be?
10, no
10.
doubt.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to do a full 10 song album. There's another one that, because back in 2008, I would listen avidly to Francesca Battistelli, who's one of my favorite Christian artists. And this girl just writes my beautiful songs about God. And I was listening to her CD one day, and it brought me to tears because it was so beautiful. And there's a song called Beautiful in that album in particular. And I was like, God, man, one of these days, I just want you to let me write about you like that. Just bless me with the words to sing about you like that. And I had just gone through a breakup. I was living in Lubbock at this time. Went through the breakup, came home in 2010, and just was down and out. Like, back in my mom and dad's home, on a cot, in my old room. And I was like, man, something's got to give here, man. I'm like, I worked so hard to be right where I'm at right now. So the minute that I was thinking all this, I was just laying there. I started hearing this melody in my head. So I went and I grabbed my guitar. I started playing this riff. And I just started singing, I want to sing your praises. I want to lift your name on high. Sing to the Lord, hallelujah, all my life. And it just started like the whole song just came out.
Dang.
And I was like, God, thank you, God. I was so excited. And then, still going through the whole transition of, you have to start over. You know what I'm saying? We've all been there, right? We've all been there after relationships, and we're like, God darn it, we go again. Gotta go buy new furniture. Gotta find a new place to live. It's like, and my father was like, I don't care about just come home. That was my dad. Just come home. Leave everything. Leave everything. Come home. I just came home in my Jeep and my clothes.
Dang.
That's it.
He warmed up the cot for you.
Yeah, he did. He was ready for me. But I was still going through, my Muska's here. She can vouch for me around this time. Still going through that weird transition of finding my way, So I wrote another song, and it's called Define My Way to You. And it goes, to find my way to you, Lord, show me what to do, because I'm awakening, and it's hard to breathe. I need you now. It's like real emotional. And when I wrote it, I was crying the whole time. So that's another song that I wrote in 2010. Those two songs that I wrote then are going to be on this album. But it's crazy, right? How many years later? It's like
everything.
I'm like, yeah. But God is the only one that grabbed my hand and got me out of that. That's when I started ShellShock in 2011. And I was like, you know what? Ain't nobody, nothing gonna bring me down ever again. I'm gonna do my thing, But I love just creating music, period.
Yeah.
Like I wish I would have retired a long time ago. I'm serious. If I had known that I'd be sitting here and working with such amazing talent and being inspired by these artists every day, I would have done it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Really.
It shows. And I'm going to wipe my eye, but it's not because I'm crying. I just want to put it out there.
It's okay. It's okay. Real men cry.
That's beautiful. And that song, like you said, like it makes you happy. Like it was weird too, because I wasn't like unhappy coming here, but I was like, I was looking, like I told you, I was looking for a gas station to buy an energy drink, and
you don't be needing that.
And I was like,
drink.
well, probably not. No, I did
Okay.
not. But I don't know. I wanted like a pick me up.
Yeah.
And then before I knew, I was like, I'm almost there. I don't know there's a gas station, but I'm listening to your song.
Yeah.
Kind of prepping, and I'm kind of like going with it, and that's when I was like, all right, I'm good. I'm good to go. And I'll say this: I'm not. So people that are listening, that I'm not just saying these compliments because you're here. I'm not a huge fan of any spiritual or religious songs, but I did grow up very religious and then kind of just separated from it. But so there's a belief. I've just separated from the church.
Yeah. Which is totally understandable.
Yeah. But the song, the song like did speak to me to where like.
That's awesome.
Like,
That's what it's for.
Yeah. So I don't know.
That's what it's
crazy.
for. It's to still. The only important thing is your relationship with you and God. That's the most important thing. And nobody, no building, no man, no woman, no anyone should ever shake your faith. That is between y'all two. But music is a huge gift to be able to allow people like yourself, maybe you're not a singer, you don't have to be, but being in your car and just singing the song to God and just thanking him for everything, that's such a beautiful feeling. Maybe and it does make you feel free.
Maybe I am a singer. So.
It does make you feel free, but that's what music should be. Music is, a really huge form of communication.
Yeah.
Whether it be to each other, whether it be to God, whether it be a note to self, because we all have those go-to songs for whatever reason, right? We all have those, and you always can pick a song to go to for whatever you're feeling. It's just, but it's an amazing gift. That's why I That's why I'll create music till my last day. No doubt.
I love it. Well, I'm a fan, and I really do want to listen to the rest of the album, especially the 2 songs you just
Yeah.
sang.
Thank you.
They sound amazing. There's not going to be a too hard, too fast story to end the episode. I want you to
Yay!
take
I'm
over.
ready.
Let's do the surprise.
Okay.
Do you need help? Okay.
No, I don't. Not
Okay.
at all.
Do you need to say a speech or anything before I open it?
Well, I did switch it up a little bit, but I made it obviously stand out and simple. Because I really do want to go all out for the next pair of shoes you
Yeah.
order.
Yay. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited. I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm excited for you.
Let me see. OMG. Look at that. She knows I love me my neon green.
Yeah.
Dang.
Those are dope. And it has Wonder Woman right there.
Boom, baby, right there.
These are so dope, dude. Thank you so much. No,
Yes,
they're
for
not
sure.
baby kid shoes, y'all. I know what y'all are thinking. Well, I guess they kind of are, right?
Well, I mean, I wasn't gonna say anything.
But what I love about her work is like the detail.
I
and
love
everything.
it.
It's like the
Yes.
Wonder Woman.
And she made it look like my sign. I mean, it's glowing like my sign, right? I
Absolutely.
so love these so much. Thank you
I
so
was like,
much.
you have Wonder Woman everywhere. Why can't you have them on your shoes?
Oh yeah, no, I gotta
Yeah.
have it on my shoes. I got to. Muska. No, these are really awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes,
you were
for
so
sure.
awesome.
I loved making them for sure.
Well, thank you.
Oh, and then I put a sticker in there, and then the little care,
Oh.
how to take care of them.
See, she goes the little extra mile for you.
Mm-hmm.
Integrity.
Oh yay! It's her sticker.
Yeah, my
I
little
love
logo.
that. So, thank you so much.
Yes, for
I
sure.
appreciate it.
I'm glad you love them.
I love them. I love them. They're so cool.
And in the black light, like I told you,
Yes,
they're gonna be
in the black light. They
vibrant.
I'm gonna go find a club I can go walk in with the black. Oh, she's got a black light. Now I gotta get one in here. But
Yes,
thank
for
you
sure.
so much. Thank you. I love them. They are incredible.
I'm glad you like them.
Yes.
How nervous were you this whole time holding the box?
I was very nervous because I see like the shoes that she wears. Every time I see her, she's wearing these shoes. So I'm like, she loves color, but she also said like she did want it a little simple, but not too simple. But she did want it to stand out. So as soon as like she's describing these things to me, I'm like,
Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Just
Yeah.
I gotta rep the ShellShock brand.
Yes.
No matter where I go.
Right.
But,
and then I put the LMD on the side,
Where?
right there.
Oh, I didn't see this one. Oh, this is the other shoe.
Yes.
Yes, for those of y'all that don't know, I don't know why y'all don't know, but it's Little Miss Dynamite. That was my brand. That is my brand.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
And I love how they look like they're already glowing without
I know,
the
that's
black
what I'm
light.
saying.
Yeah.
You made it look like the sign.
Right.
Like
yeah.
literally, like it glows.
I was looking up all kinds of videos because I was like, I need to be sure that this is going to stand out. And then the
No.
first time I did it, I was like, ugh. But I know the tools. I know everything that I need to use. So I went right back and went straight to doing something else.
This is so cool. Everybody's going to want these now.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we'll do a line of the LMD ShellShock line shoes. I love it. This is awesome.
No, those are
Thank
for
you
you.
so much.
Right? I was like, no, those are for you.
Even if you get
One-
like
one
100
of one.
calls.
Oh, if we get 100 calls, yeah. Yeah.
DGU Customs.
I'll be like,
That's
don't
right.
talk to me, talk to Shelly.
Right.
And then she'll tell me.
DGU Customs. She's on social media, y'all.
Yes.
You need to follow her. She's extremely talented. Super proud of you. Super
you, thank
thankful.
you.
And now we're friends. And
Yes.
Mama's friend now. Mama's a friend. But no, and she was sharing beautiful stories with me that your sister liked to go to the shows and whatnot. So yeah,
Yes.
super.
I'm
super
telling you,
honored
it was
about that.
just so crazy just walking in here and seeing Wonder Woman all over. I was like, oh my gosh, that was like, I kid you not. I would say a week before she passed, and I didn't even know like she was gonna pass. I didn't know any of this. Like I thought that she was gonna get better. I thought like that a miracle was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I thought a miracle was gonna happen. I kept praying. I was like, Lord, even if I have to convert to another, okay, yeah, I promise you, I will repent. I'll do what I have to.
Yeah.
We were watching her favorite, Wonder Woman, till like 3:00 in the morning, and then I remember just her falling asleep with her carne guisada and cheese that she needed, but never even ate.
Who doesn't eat carne guisada and cheese?
And so and then a week later, obviously, something happened where it was very sad. But those are like the memories. Like seeing that, I was like, oh my goodness, she's here. And then like Shelly shared something with me, and then I was like, oh my gosh, that is so crazy. Like that was my sister's doctor too.
Yeah.
Like
It's
that is
insane.
so
It's
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, we both had the same doctor.
Yeah. And then I wanted to also incorporate something. I'm not going to like hold it hostage. I wanted to incorporate something about her parents because she just talks so wonderful about her parents. And nowadays, like, I'm surrounded by so many people that don't have that. They don't have that with their parents. And I thought it was just so beautiful, all the things she shared about her dad, her mom, and the trips and going back and forth with her and all that.
My mom's
so I
crazy.
wanted to incorporate something. So I looked up her dad, and I read a little bit about him. And then I got sad when I found out that they were doing his services on my birthday.
Oh, wow.
July 29, 2016. I was like, oh my goodness, like it's really meant to be. We're besties now.
That's right. That's right. But again, it's all God's doing.
It
It's
is.
all the way, because anytime you're in a room with someone, it's not by accident.
Yeah.
It's all a part of God's master plan for us all. And, he brings people into your life for whatever reasons. And, even artistically, that's if that's the vessel to bring us together, then that's the vessel to bring us together. Had I not known Jorge, he wouldn't have told me about you.
Right.
And vice versa. So it's like,
And I manifested him because
he's pretty amazing. He doesn't give himself credit, but he's pretty amazing.
Yes, I saw his show with Dez, and I just love Dez. I love his voice. I love who he is. I messaged him and I asked him, hey, my mom loves you too. Her birthday's around the corner. But anyways, I was like, oh my gosh, am I going to be on a podcast with George? I promise you.
She's vouching
the
for
following
it.
day,
Wifey's vouching.
the following day, he messaged me and I was like,
No way.
I'm gonna be on
See,
yes. I'm gonna be on a podcast with this dude.
Isn't
I
that
like him.
beautiful?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
It's a beautiful thing. But no, well, I'm definitely gonna have to set up Des coming and meeting y'all and talking to you.
Oh yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd love that.
Yeah, because he's a great guy.
I do shoes for you too, Des.
Oh, he would like that.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. These are so dope. I can't
absolutely.
wait to. I'm gonna take better pictures of them so y'all can see them on my social media. And again, y'all know where to go.
Yes.
DGU Customs. Go and get you some shoes.
Yes.
And have you ever done a face? You did a face, right? Have you done a face?
done-
Are they hard to do faces?
Should
Yes.
the cartoon of my logo.
Oh yeah, I did the
So
cartoon
my-
of his
it's a-
logo.
But like a face, not a
oh,
cartoon
like a
face.
real-
Yeah,
I've done a portrait,
I would think
yeah.
that's hard. I can't even draw a stick person. Let alone
What I use is a pen and I trace out just
Certain points.
certain points, right? And so I was so excited to use this pen because I got it for Christmas.
Ah.
And I know with the heat gun that it fades away.
Oh shoot!
So
All this work and then
exactly, right? So I'm painting,
That would've been
right?
me.
I'm painting the portrait. It's of The Weeknd. Somebody asked me if I
Nice.
could do because her little sister likes The Weeknd, and so I was like, I'm gonna try. So I tried and I did it, and so then I got a phone call, and so I'm paying attention, or I'm paying attention over here with my heat gun, and then I'm on the phone, and then I was like, oh my gosh,
it's gone.
all you see is just this mustache.
That would've
and I was
freaked me
like,
out,
oh my
man.
gosh, what do I do? Because I just did all that hard work and it's just gone.
But that was Well, you learned.
Yeah.
You know, I know not to do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. So then it took me another like 6 hours to do what I had already just did.
Oh my gosh.
But it was all worth it. It's cool. I mean, I love
Yeah.
it.
Awesome. This is my first custom shoes I've ever worn. So I'm super excited. I'm
glad.
really excited.
I'm
And I'm going to wear them. They're not going to just be in my box or in my car.
I want to be on stage somewhere wearing them. That's my manifestation.
Heck yeah. There you go.
Like, maybe like a live podcast somewhere later on down the road.
Yes.
That's where
Like next week.
wherever.
Okay.
But yeah, like special occasions, that's where I want to wear them to.
Nice.
Cool.
But
Love it.
but with that said, Shelly, where can people follow you?
I'm on Instagram, of course, Little Miss TNT. Of course, you can go to Shelly Lares Fans Facebook. I'm on TikTok under, I think, ShellShock Records 3, I think. There's you know, those fake accounts. I got that. I don't know how many times people were sending me, is this you? And it was some weirdo idiot that was asking people for money so that I could do a private concert. And I was like, y'all, you best believe you're going to hear it from me, myself, if I'm ever going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to throw a concert, I'm going to just throw a concert. I'm not going to be asking people for money on TikTok.
Yeah.
Right.
Hello.
Right.
That should be a big indicator right there,
Right.
guys.
And with that said, remember, dare to be you, dare to be weird. Bye.